This is Chapter 8, Univariate Data Analysis, Section C, Grouped Discrete Data. So in the previous section, we talked about the different ways of organizing and displaying data. So we talked about a tally frequency graph, a dot plot, or a column graph. Now, sometimes it's not practical to create ordinary versions of these because there's just too many numerical values. So here we have an example, and it says a local hardware store is concerned about the number of people visiting the store at lunchtime. So over 30 consecutive weekdays, they recorded the data, and these are all the results. So we need to find a way to record this but not have to do a tally frequency for, let's say, 30 different data points. So we can still do a tally frequency graph, but we just are going to use intervals to represent our number of people. So our tally frequency might look something like this. Excuse me, it might be a little messy. So this is our tally frequency graph. So we're going to use 3 columns like we did previously. So the first one is going to be number of people. Our second one will be our tally. And our third will be our frequency. So we're going to look at our data and we're going to pick intervals to represent the number of people. So rather than doing 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, we're going to say between 10 and this number, we will, put all the data for that group in. And you need to be sensible about this. So you need to think about what is appropriate. In this case, we might say that class intervals that are of length 10 might be most appropriate. So the number of people will be 10 to 19. 20 to 29, and we need to think about our minimum and our maximum here. So 30 to 39, 40 to 49, and then we'll do 50 to 59. So we need to go through and see, okay, how many times does a number of people fall between 10 and 19? Well, let's see, we have 17, 13, 18, 16, and there's 7 there, I believe. That's 37. Sorry, my cursor was blocking it. Let me erase that. 18's right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it happens 5 times. So in our tally, we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then our frequency would be 5. So now let's go on to between 20 and 29. So we're looking through, let's use blue instead. Okay, so we have 28, 22, 23, 24, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7, 8, any others? 9. Okay, so in this case, there are 9 times where there was between 20 and 29 people visiting the store at lunch. And so we'll say that's 9. Now let's look between 30 and 39. We'll use green this time. So there's 30, there's 37, 38, 32, 38, 39, 31, 32, 32, 38, and let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 35. So there's 11 times that occurs. So we'll do 11. Didn't mean to do this in green, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, now let's move on to our 40 to 49. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be 4 times 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, happens 4 times. Between 50 and 59 happens once. Now, if we look at this and we total up the frequency, we get 30. Okay? So this is a really good example of a tally frequency graph where we use, again, what these are called as class intervals. And so what's important to remember here again is we want to use class intervals when we have quite a bit of data points, and we also want to be thoughtful about what ranges would most be helpful when we're dealing with this tally frequency graph. Another way to represent grouped discrete data would be stem and leaf plots, but we typically want to use these when using small data sets because it shows actual data values and gives a visual comparison of frequencies. So to do a stem and leaf plot display, you need to have numbers with 2 digits, or that's what we typically use. And the first digit forms the stem, and the second digit forms the leaf. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So we just draw a T graph, and I don't want that line. Always tend to use it. So we're going to use a T chart. So we say our stem is on the left and our leaf is on the right. Now, if you wanted to look at your textbook as we did this is page 180. And you'll see that in the textbook they showed 2 different ones. One is unordered and one is ordered. And I'm just going to show how to do an ordered one because that's how you should be drawing them. So we'll look at an ordered one. So we look at our data points and we'll use the example from before about a hardware store. So we need to think about what's our lowest number? Well, lowest number was 13. Okay, was 13. So there it is. And when we do our stem, we're going to do our ones on the left and then our tens on, sorry, the opposite of that, our tens on the left and our ones on the right. So that's a 1 for the stem, and our leaf would be 3. Our next number is 16. There it is right there. So we would keep our 1 on the left and then write a 6 beside our leaf. And then after that, we have a 7 for 17 and 18. And 18 happens twice, so we're going to write that in there twice. Then if we move up to our 20s, we write a 2 on the left-hand side, and then all of the ones that it occurs. So we have 22, 23, 23, 24, 24, 24, 24. So this happens quite often, 28 and 29. And then we'll keep going. So our 30s, we have 30, 31, 32, 32, 32, 30. No, 33. Take that out of there. Can't seem to, there we go, take that out. So we had 35, 37, 38, 38, 38, 39. Then we have 40 and 54. So we can tell by this that our most frequent occurrence happens in the 30s. Okay, that's our longest leaf. And so that's another way that we can show this grouped discrete data.